Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Rebecca and thank you for joining me for this gentle yoga practice. In this sequence, we will be using the props of a chair and a strap to explore some common yoga postures and to bring them into the body in a different way. Using a chair also allows us to explore our sense of foundation, what grounds us and what supports us. If you have any judgments about chair yoga or what it means about you or your practice, just allow yourself to release those and enjoy this experience in your body. So take a few moments, gather anything you need, and I'll see you on the mat.
Just a first little word about safety this morning. If you are using a chair, make sure at least 2 feet of your chair stay on your mat at all times so that you don't scoot around. And if you're not using a chair, you can just come to a comfortable seat in the middle of your mat. If you are using your chair, allow yourself to scoot out to the edge of your chair and place your feet firmly on the ground. So you really want to feel into your foundation here, feeling all four corners of your feet. Allow your toes to spread wide and your ankles to be stacked right under your knees. And then just sit up nice and straight, whatever seated posture you've chosen here. Just allow yourself to stack your shoulders right over your hips. And begin to smooth out your breath. Allow your shoulders to sink down away from your ears. For this moment, allow yourself to be completely still, feeling just your belly move as you inhale and exhale. Bring your awareness to your nose. Feel how the air is cool as it enters and warm as it exits. And feel how, in this small way, if none other, you make a difference in your environment. Now that you've allowed yourself to settle in here for this practice, for this moment, let's take some time before we begin to move here to really feel how the earth or your chair is supporting you. Feel down into this foundation, your base, your root. And then we'll take a deep breath together. Maybe sigh it out through an open mouth. And allow the eyelids to flutter open. And let's just allow the head to fall over to the left shoulder and the left ear coming closer to one another. Allow the right shoulder to sink away, creating this space, this distance on the side of the neck. And then just allow the crown of the head to come forward very slowly and feel as you move into this side back muscle of the neck, this long muscle that connects the back of the shoulder to the back of the skull. Take a breath here, and on your next exhale, just allow the crown of your head to continue its journey here until your chin is tucked into your chest. Your spine is nice and straight and tall. And you can feel this stretch down the very back of your neck. On your next exhale, allow your head to come slightly to the other side, bringing this stretch into that long muscle in the back left side of your neck now. So the crown of your head leading over towards the right, bringing the stretch into the back left. And then on your next exhale, bring that right ear to the right shoulder. And we're only describing this front semicircle stretch of the neck today rather than doing a full neck circle, just to protect and be kind to those small cervical spine bones. And then inhale the head back upright. Good. We'll inhale the arms up overhead now. And if you're seated on your mat, you can allow your right fingertips to come down and touch the mat next to you. If you are in a chair, just allow your hand to come underneath the chair seat just a little, grasping the underside of the seat gently with your fingers. And then pulling up against your chair, press up into your fingertips as you lean over, bringing this stretch into the side body. Pulling up slightly with your supporting hand, pressing out through your fingertips. Breathing deeply into the side body here. Feel the skin of the side body expand, and then exhale, allowing those fingers to swim down. And we'll switch sides, grasping the underside of the chair on the other side, inhaling the arm up, exhaling as we come into this side body stretch. Inhale to grow tall, and exhale, allowing the fingers to swim down. Once again, inhaling both hands overhead. This time we'll exhale as we twist to one side. You can bring your hand to the back of your chair and just kind of play here. You can take one hand to the opposite knee and just experiment with how grasping the back of your chair can help you deepen into this twist and experience this twist in your body in a different way. A lot of times when people first try chair yoga, they come to it with a lot of judgment. So just realize that the chair is just a prop, nothing more. Doesn't mean anything about the yoga, doesn't mean anything about your practice, just a prop. Inhaling the arms back up overhead as we untwist. We'll exhale, twisting to the other side. Nice deep breath. Even as we do when we're seated, inhaling to grow tall and exhaling to soften into the twist. Inhaling arms back up overhead, while exhale, allowing the hands to swim back down to the knees. So bringing your hands to your knees now, you might even lean forward just slightly so that you can cup your knees with your hands. And we want to have our feet here in Tadasana position. So rather than having our legs out wide as we often do when we sit in a chair, we want to be right on the edge of the chair with the legs close together, the femur bones coming right out of the hips here. And cupping those knees with the hands, we'll inhale to allow the chest to open forward, coming into a tiny little back bend here. And then exhale, rounding the shoulders back, pulling the belly button in, pulling back against the knees slightly, coming into our cat shape. And just inhale and exhale through these shapes with your own breath now. Just experiencing what it feels like to do this cat-cow motion in your seated chair position. Always being aware of your foundation, your feet on the floor, or any of those places where your body meets the earth. Continuing to welcome the breath, welcome the motion. And then when you're ready, bringing this back to a neutral spine. We'll inhale the arms up overhead here and exhale, reaching back for the back of the chair, the place where the chair meets the seat, close to the seat. And if you're seated on the floor today, you bring your fingertips around behind you. We'll come to a little back bend here. So opening the collarbones away from each other, shifting the gaze toward the ceiling, maybe leaning into your hands just a little on the chair. Feeling that back bend, that's lovely. Chair yoga poses are a wonderful way to stretch out if you spend long days in a chair as well. And so now allowing those hands to come back around to the knees, we'll just come into a little cat shape here. And then inhale back to a neutral spine. So we're going to play here with a sun salutation in our seated chair. So we'll start again in Tadasana, our feet firmly on the ground, shoulder width apart. And we'll inhale the arms up overhead. And as we're exhaling, just come forward, allowing the back to remain straight. As we come down over the legs, you can even allow the arms to drape underneath the legs here. When you're ready, inhale, coming back up, arms overhead. Exhaling, we'll bring the hands to heart center as we bring one knee into the chest. Inhaling here to grow tall. Exhaling to really hug that knee into the chest, maybe even rounding the spine a little. Inhaling will allow that leg to come back down to the floor. Arms come up overhead. And then as we're exhaling, we'll bring both hands to heart center. And you have your choice of movements here. The real point is to pull this belly button into the spine, but you can lift both knees from the floor, or you can extend both legs out long. Inhale, the knee is back. setting them down on the floor. Not the knees, the feet, of course. Inhaling the arms overhead. Exhaling will bring the other knee into the chest. Inhaling to grow tall. Curling in. Inhale to expand. Foot comes to the floor. Arms come up overhead. Exhale, forward folding over the legs. Coming through this again, inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, knee comes to chest. Inhale to grow tall. Exhale, really pulling the knee into the chest, maybe rounding the spine. Inhale to expand, foot comes to the floor. Exhale, finding your version, lifting both feet or just lifting the knees. Inhale, feet come to the floor. Exhale, other knee comes into the chest. Inhaling, growing tall. Exhale, round. Inhale to expand. And exhale, sinking forward, forward fold. And inhale, coming back up to your seated position. Hands come to meet overhead and come down through heart center. And take just a moment here to breathe and realize that even in seated, these simple movements, this sun salutation brings warmth into the body. And we'll allow the hands to release. We're going to come up to standing. And we're going to take our chair so that the back of the chair is facing toward you. If you are practicing down on your mat, today we are going to be moving into downward facing dog. So you might want to take a shape on your mat that will ultimately lead you into downward dog. If you're using your chair, just take your hands gently onto the back of the chair and begin to back away from your chair, pressing into your palms until you come down into this flat back, like L shape. So feet are shoulder width apart, knees are soft here. It's tempting to lock them out. And just feel this stretch down the back of your hamstrings, pulling the front body into the back body. And allow your ears to come in between your upper arms, if you can. Pressing into the palms, spreading the collarbones away from each other. Inhale to come back up to stand. We'll walk back towards the chair, or if you're on your mat, you can come to child's pose. Deep breath. And then as we're exhaling, once again, backing away, taking this stretch into the back of the legs. So kind of check in with yourself here and see that the lower body is in this 90-degree angle here. And then 3 deep breaths, closing your eyes or bringing your gaze in between your toes on the mat. Last breath. And then as you're inhaling, walking forward, back towards the back of your chair. Turning towards the front of the mat now with the chair at the side. Just come into a little side stretch. Inhaling the arms up overhead. You can grasp one wrist in the opposite hand, pulling up and out of the pelvis. And coming over to the side, any side. Inhaling, arms back up overhead. Little soft bend in the knees here, switching the grip on the hands. Exhaling, coming to the other side. Inhaling, arms back overhead. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. We'll turn back towards the chair now, taking the hands back to the back of the chair for some support. And we're just going to come to Tadasana, but I want you to back away from your chair by about 2 feet or so, 2/3 of a meter. And so using the back of the chair, pressing our fingertips or maybe I've forgotten what this part of the hand is, but the place where the pad of the fingers into the chair, depending on how tall your chair is. We're just going to sink back here, coming into our Utkatasan Pose. So once you've allowed your hips to shift back here, make sure that you can see your toes past your knees. So we're really just using the chair here for changing how we experience this posture. So pressing the arms into the chair, pressing down through the heels, through the pads of the feet, and drawing up that pelvic floor muscle, up and in as we root the feet down. Back is nice and straight. Inhaling to come up to stand. And if you need to shake the feet out a little, can. We'll sink back down one more time. Nice big inhale. Exhale here. And if you prefer to take a more traditional expression of this chair pose here, you can come into that now. Just feel how it's different. Does it feel the same? What do you notice? Inhale. And then as you're exhaling, come all the way back up to stand. I'm going to come back to sit in the chair here for a moment. So bring yourself back to seated. We're going to use our chair here to help us experience our chair twist. So again, those feet in Tadasana, knees close together, femur bones coming right out of the hip sockets. As we bring the hands down on our exhale, we'll take that left elbow and bring it to the outside of the right knee. So in our chair here, we can deepen into this pose, perhaps a little more than we do when we're standing. And pay attention to the press resist motion of the knee and the elbow. So not allowing that supporting knee to collapse in towards the other, but really pressing it into the elbow here as we come into the twist. Inhaling, we'll allow ourselves to come back to center, staying low over the legs, and then bring the other elbow to the other knee, coming into our twist. And if you need to make a little more space for yourself here, you can always bring one hand to the back of the chair and one to the top of the knee. Lots of options here, this twist. We'll bring this back to center. Inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, hands come to heart center. I'm going to use our chair to help us explore our warrior poses this morning. So I'm going to start with warrior one. So you can turn towards the right. You're going to allow the right leg to be supported on your chair and the left leg to be completely free. Now, if you are not using a chair today, you can just go ahead and come into your regular warrior one pose with us. So taking one hand to the back of the chair for balance, the right hand, you're going to extend the other leg out long behind you. So allow your toe to come in contact with the floor, pressing out through the heel here. And then really firm this front leg, pressing the foot into the floor so that you can really feel this, what is this called? Quadricep engage. Pressing this hip forward. And then inhaling, arms come up overhead. Really feel the strength of this pose, pressing that foot into the floor in the front so strongly that you almost might hover off the chair. And breathe. You might feel a little warmth here, a little shake and tremble in that front leg. Inhale to grow tall. And as we're exhaling, we'll allow the arms to come down halfway as we turn towards the front. You may need to change the direction of that back foot just a little. We're coming into our warrior two here. So check in with your feet. You still want this front foot facing forward. Back foot's at a little bit of an angle. Check in with your alignment. Allow your gaze to be forward and rotate your shoulders towards the front edge of your mat. Taking your gaze over that front hand. How is this different than when you practice it standing? Can you still press into the outer edges of your feet? Where do you feel it differently? Inhale the arms up overhead as you bring your gaze forward. Hands come to meet overhead, then we'll gently draw the legs back in. Shifting over to the other side now. So once again, just supporting one leg and hip on the chair. The other leg remains free. Pressing into that front foot, extending the free leg out behind you, pressing back through the heel and toe. Inhaling, arm comes up overhead. You can allow that to be joined by the other, really pressing into that front foot, welcoming that little shake and tremble, welcoming some heat, some strength, feeling the chair support you, feeling yourself rooted down into your foundation. Inhale, grow tall. And exhale, keeping that nice firm front leg coming down into our warrior two now. Checking in with yourself, really pressing into that foundation. And let's try turning the hands palm up to bring the shoulders onto the back. And then rotating only the hands, allowing the shoulders to remain where they are. Inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, back to center. Turning again towards the other side, we're going to come into warrior two, again on this side. So extending that leg out behind you. Inhale, arms up halfway, pressing into the outer edges of the feet, really firming this front quadricep. And then dropping the hand in the back, we'll reach up as we inhale, coming into reverse warrior from our chair. Continue to breathe. Feeling the warmth in the body. Exhale, hands come down halfway. And then inhale, gathering it all back to center. A moment here to reflect if you need to, and then switching, coming to the other side. Extending the leg out long, checking in with your foundation. Back foot at a slight angle, just like we do when we're standing. Inhale, arms come up halfway, firming into that front foot. Dropping the back hand. Inhaling, arm comes up overhead. Pressing into the outer edges of those feet. Engaging the legs strongly so you might just hover slightly above the chair, or at least get that feeling of lightness, knowing that the chair is always there to support you. And then exhale, the hands down, hands come to heart center. Take a moment here to pause and reflect, bringing the heels of the hands into the heart, bowing the chin to the chest. Big deep breath, let it all out, and we'll come back up to stand. Pressing into your feet, standing mindfully, carefully here. And we're going to turn the chair so that the seat of the chair is facing us here. And you may turn yourself on your mat however you wish, but just remember, again, keeping a couple of feet of the chair on the mat so it doesn't slide on you. And we're going to take a wide leg stance here. So opening the legs out wide, all 10 toes pointing forward. If you're not using a chair today, you can come into your wide leg forward fold as you usually do. If you are using your chair, inhaling your arms up overhead to allow your spine to come nice and tall. Exhaling, we'll bring the hands to heart center, really pulling the belly button into the spine, engaging that pelvic floor muscle to come up as we gently begin to fold forward over the seat of the chair. And then just allow your hands to come down into the seat of the chair. And allow yourself to sink forward just as much as you like. Maybe you'll come down to rest on your forearms on the chair, perhaps not. And once you've found where you'd like to land here, bring a little soft bend into the knees, firming the thighs, and then really rotate that tailbone up towards the ceiling, likely more than you would when you are experiencing this without the support of the prop. Allow the head to be relaxed, shoulders to be relaxed. And then before you begin to move here, just slightly turn that tailbone back under, pull the belly button into the spine, and then begin to walk yourself slowly out of your forward fold. Inhaling, arms up overhead. Exhaling, hands come back to heart center, and we'll just exhale all the way back down to the chair. On your next exhale, rolling that tailbone up towards the ceiling. And then before you stand, rolling the tailbone under slightly, pulling in through the belly button. And coming up to stand with a flat back. Inhaling, arms come up overhead. Exhale, hands come to heart center. We'll heel toe those feet in towards each other. And we'll come to our Tadasana in front of our chair. Now, the side, whatever side your chair is on, in this case on my left or your left, we're going to take that front foot slightly under the chair and step the other foot out long. So we're going to come into our triangle shape here with the front foot sort of underneath the chair. Then once you've found your way here, inhale your arms up halfway. And we'll shift the hips out to the side as we do when we come into triangle. But as you're tipping over, allow your hand to find the seat of the chair. And with the support of the chair here, we can really explore some of the alignment of triangle. So really see if you can peel those lower ribs up toward the ceiling. And imagine that there is a wall behind you and that the back of your head, your shoulder, and your hip might be in alignment on that wall. So just experiencing our triangle in a different sort of supported way. Head can be facing forward or gazing up towards your hands. Pressing into the outer edges of the feet. And then just like someone is pulling you up, inhale yourself back up from your triangle. Exhale, hands come down. Turning all 10 toes forward here. We'll inhale the arms up overhead. And exhale, hands come down to heart center. You can choose how you'd like to move here, either bringing your chair to the other side or simply turning in the other direction. I'm going to heel toe those feet in. And then take this to the other side. So bringing the foot slightly underneath the chair, finding your wide stance, back foot at an angle, front foot facing forward. Inhale, arms come up halfway, shifting the hips out to the side, dropping into your triangle. Really, really reaching up and out through those fingertips. And checking in with this top arm now. Many times in our triangle, that top arm tends to drift backwards. So see if you can really get that stacked here over that front hand. Peeling those lower ribs up. Bringing yourself into alignment. Firming down through your foundation, really pressing into the feet here. And then inhaling up through the fingertips. Allowing your hands to come down, feet to come to parallel. And we'll heel toe those feet back to center. Coming back behind your chair now. We'll use the chair for a little balance. If you like, come into our thigh stretch. So with the foot that is away from the back of the chair, we'll just allow that heel to come up to the glute. And if this is challenging for you, you can always use a strap here. So we're just using the back of the chair here for balance. And with this support now, really see if you can drop this hip, the hip of the bent knee, down so that the knees are coming to parallel. And at the same time, see if you can tuck this opposite hip up under the body so that this side of the body becomes nice and long and straight. And then when you're ready, just gently release that leg down to the mat. Come into tree pose now. So firming down through this leg that's close to the back of the chair, we'll turn the opposite toes out, bringing the heel over the ankle. And then just allow that foot to come up anywhere on the leg, above or underneath the knee, but not on the knee. And you can do anything that you like with your hands here. Releasing the chair if you like, coming into your tree pose. Finding your focal point. And when you're ready, releasing that hand back down to the back of the chair, allowing that front leg to come back to neutral, and then slowly come down to the floor. And you can turn around or move your chair. Do this on the other side. Bringing the hand to the back of the chair, firming down through your supporting foot, pulling in through the belly button, bringing that other heel towards the glute. Using the support of your chair to help yourself explore the stretch in your body. Seeing if you can notice how you experience it in any different way. Maybe tucking the supporting hip under, sinking the elevated hip down. Just play. Play and notice. And then allow yourself to release that foot slowly and gently. We'll move into our tree pose. Nice wide toes on the mat. Turning the toes out. Bringing that foot up wherever you like. Remembering that it does not matter where your foot is in your tree pose. It can be low on the calf, up on the thigh, just so long as it's not on the knee. And when you're ready, bringing that knee back around to center, coming to neutral, and then allowing yourself to release. And shake the legs out a little if you like. Bring your chair back so it's facing the front of your mat, long side of your mat, and grab your strap if you have one handy, or a towel. So we're going to come back to seated on the edge of our chair. And always coming to Tadasana. Even in our chair, keeping our legs at shoulder width distance, femur bones coming right out of the hips as we sit up nice and tall on the edge of the chair. We're going to take our strap and we're going to extend one leg. I'm going to turn to the side a little so you can see me here. In fact, I think I'll turn my whole chair. So from our Tadasana here, we're just going to extend one leg and toss the strap around the leg here. Holding on to both sides of the strap, one in each hand, we'll press down through the heel of this front leg. So we're firming this quadricep once again. And then rolling the shoulders onto the back. As we're exhaling, we'll just allow this leg to lift from the floor. If you need to change your grip here, you'll notice how we're keeping the shoulders stacked over the hips here. So one temptation when we come into this shape is to allow the back to round back towards the back of the chair. If you do this, you will notice that you get very little stretch in that front hamstring. So really bring yourself up tall here. And maybe your foot is only a couple of inches up off the floor. That's completely okay. The alignment of the back and the sensation that you feel in the back of the leg is what's important. Exhale and allow that to release. Make any natural movements you feel like you need to make here. And then inhale, once again, spine becomes nice and straight. Exhale, bringing that same leg up from the floor, pulling back through your strap, pressing through that front heel as the toes come back towards the face with the strap. And we'll release slightly here. Taking both the straps into one hand, we'll use the strap to help us draw this ankle over on top of the knee. So we're coming now into a seated pigeon pose. So as you find your way here, you can use one hand to press this knee down and away slightly, really sitting up straight and tall on the edge of your chair. And this may be all the sensation you need today. If you'd like to bring this a little deeper, you can allow the chest to sink forward any amount, keeping the shoulders on the back. Neck is relaxed, nice and straight and long. Inhale to release. We'll draw this knee into the chest, circle through the ankles, and allow that to release back down to the mat, extending now through the other leg. We'll take the strap around the ball of the foot. Inhale to bring this, actually on an exhale, bringing that leg up from the mat. Bringing the shoulders onto the back, nice straight spine. Pulling in through the belly button. Exhale to release. Make any natural movements. Take a little extra breath. And then on your next exhale, pressing down into that supporting leg and lifting this one from the floor. Bringing your attention to your breath if you've lost that focus. And then releasing slightly, once again, using that strap to help ourselves draw this ankle on top of the knee. Release the strap, pressing that knee away from the body as we grow nice and tall. And then only if it suits you, allowing the torso to sink forward slightly with a flat back. Noticing how the sides of the body are different here. Perhaps your experience in this pose is different on one side than the other. Just notice. And when you're ready, inhale to come back up. We'll bring the knee into the chest, rotate through that ankle. And then allow that foot to come back down to the floor. We'll take one last twist here, inhaling the arms up overhead. Exhale as we drop one hand to the back of the chair, one hand to the outside of the knee. Just welcoming any stretch, any twist into the body here. Inhale, hands come back up overhead. Exhale, dropping to the other side. Inhale, arms come back up overhead. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Before we move into our Shavasana, today we'll just practice a little pranayama, a little energetic breathing. So coming back to our Tadasana, feet firmly rooted to the floor, hands pressing into the tops of the knees. We'll allow the eyes to close. I want you to envision the base of your tailbone here. Just bring a mental image to mind and see how you are rooted down, how you are supported by the foundation of your seat. Imagine that you can see your spine rising out of your tailbone and that you can begin a breath that starts at your tailbone and reaches all the way up the spine to the back of the head. We'll take this breath to a count of 4. So starting at the tailbone, we'll inhale together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, pausing at the top for a count of 4. And then exhaling for 8 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pausing at the bottom here, finding yourself back at the tailbone. Once again, inhaling to a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause at the top of the spine. 2, 3, 4. Exhale for a count of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pause at the bottom. Inhale, big deep breath to a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fill up all the way to the top. Pausing here, retaining the breath. Exhaling slowly, count of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pressing all the air out of the lungs at the bottom. Holding here. And then once again, expanding, inhaling all the way up. Pausing at the top. And last time here, letting it out slowly to a count of 8, emptying all the air out of the lungs. Pausing at the bottom. And then just allow yourself to return to your natural breath. We'll be moving into our Shavasana now. If you'd like to take your Shavasana on your back, on your mat, you're welcome to do that. Or if you'd like to experience it in the chair, just allow yourself to relax back towards the back of your seat. Allow your knees to relax away from each other and your hands to rest comfortably in your lap. And just give yourself a moment here to rest, to be still, to check in with how your body feels after this practice. Feel how your body is cradled by what's supporting you. Maybe taking these few brief minutes to just reflect on what's your foundation in your life right now? What's supporting you? Take a deep breath. You wiggle your fingers and toes. Make any natural movements that feel good to help yourself awaken back to your space. Bring your shoulders back over your hips, hands to heart center, allowing your eyes to be open or closed, whatever suits you. And we'll end today with a Maori proverb, which says, in order to flourish above, one must first be rooted firmly below. May this practice have helped you explore something a little different today and get in touch with your foundation and what's supporting you. May your yoga follow you off the mat.